Hey everyone, so Ben and I are just upstairs in the pour room right now, and we're getting ready to do our next pour. It's Tuesday already, so this won't be quite cured or demolded by the end of the week, but you'll see it next week. Here it is in the mold, Canadian black walnut. We've done a few tables with slabs from this tree already, and they have really, really nice color in them. You can even see some of the figuring that's in over here. Today it's going to take about 60 liters to fill this up. It's going to be smoky gray, so as usual we're going to show you the mixing process, the pouring process, and also how we pigment it. And another thing I wanted to mention, just because we got so many comments about it in our last couple videos, people are asking, why we're not wearing respirators, and is that necessary? With our product, the answer is no. With some epoxy products, you may need to, but our product specifically has an ASTM non-toxic certification, which there's not a lot of other resins out there that have that. And it is 100% solids, which means there's no VOCs during the curing process, so you don't have to worry about breathing anything in bad. But saying that, we'll start mixing this up and then we'll show you the pour. Okay. Now we're ready to put the color in here. To make our smoky gray, we use two different colors usually. We use the Black Diamond from Black Diamond Pigment, so the name of the pigment and the brand of the pigment are the same there. Then we use Black Onyx from Black Diamond, and it's just a little bit of both of those in there, and it just gives us that nice metallic swirl and a bit of a dark tint to the resin. You can kind of see by how much I put in here, it's really a tiny amount. So it's only this much for a whole 15-liter bucket to get that color. Three, two, one, pour.
Well, you won the bet, you should be the faster.
Yeah, but I didn't do the math last time.
Yeah,
Just guess.
True.
Alright, so you just saw Ben put the inserts in for JB Smooth's coffee table. So we've got everything assembled now, the legs are attached. So we're going to flip this thing over and give you the first look at this table all assembled. We haven't even seen it all together yet, so let's see what it looks like. Oh yeah. Sweet. It's a big coffee table. Back here, this is the conference table that everybody saw us pour last week. A lot of you asked why we didn't show the finished product, and that's just because it's not finished yet. Right now, we're taking off, you can see 1 millimeter on our CNC machine. So it's just going to clean up the surface just so we can get it ready for our sanding. And then we have to flip this piece over. We have 2 more passes or maybe 1 more pass to go on the other side. and then it's gonna be on to final sizing and sanding, and hopefully by the end of the week, we'll get the first coat of finish. We're back here in the shop right now, and you just saw Dennis cut the width on this table on the CNC machine. So it's all trimmed for width, and now him and Spencer are just working on marking out the cut for the length. This is one big 15-foot table. We did have to split it in two. The reason is so it can go up the elevator. Here in the pour room, I'm just checking out that pour we did the other day on Tuesday. This is the 60-liter pour we did with our smoky gray between these black walnut slabs. I'll just kind of show you what the epoxy looks like in terms of hardness right now. So you can see I can still dent it with that stick. It's not wet, like I can touch it fine, but it is still soft. So this is about just over 48 hours. Once it's been 5 days, we'll be ready to take this out of the mold, and then we usually like to wait at least 7 days till it's fully cured. You probably could start working on these tables a little bit early, but as it cures, the epoxy is still kind of contracting a little bit and shrinking, so you're better off to let it fully cure, then do your machining, and it's going to stay the exact same shape when you're done with it. So right now, I'm just working on getting the fills done on the big 15-foot conference table. Right now, we've got it cut to length there. So you can see we got a nice, really clean cut down the middle. That'll butt together nicely. And I've done the first little bit of fills here already. This is just one round of them. So there's still some more holes, as you guys can see, like right there. I want to get that filled up. But I've done the first round. So I'm going to show you the product we're using and kind of the way we go about doing this. So the product is the System 3 15-minute quick cure. And then we're tinting it all just with the black dye. This is Epoxy black dye. There's the color I'm kind of getting out of it, but sort of the trick with this stuff, when I lift it up, you can see that it is quite thick. It doesn't really want to flow that well. So I have a cup of water here. It's actually cold now, so I'm going to warm it up again, but it's just filled with warm water, and that's going to allow it to flow away easier. It's going to mix easier. And then when you come to actually putting it in the slab and trying to fill up these tiny little bubbles and imperfections, it's going to flow in better. So I'll mix up another batch of this here. I'll kind of film and show you that mixing process where I heat up the water to get it to mix easier, and then we'll fill that slab up, and we'll come in tomorrow and sand it off. All done filling in the holes on this table. Only took like an hour and a half or something, not too bad. There wasn't too many fills on this half of the table. You can see a few there, a few over there, just kind of scattered throughout. But then this slab really took a lot of epoxy to fill up. You can see there's tons of little spots to fill up, and it's just really important that you go one by one, fill in every little imperfection just for that best finish. So this is only 15-minute epoxy, so it'll be fully cured in the morning. Then we'll come in, sand this off. I think we still got to trim for length. As you can see, this is still our rough edge, and hopefully we can try and get some finish on one of these, or at least get a really good picture from above for you guys. It's the end of the day on Friday now. I've got the big conference table, the 270-liter pour right beside me. We aren't going to get the first coat of finish on it this week. It's probably going to happen this weekend. there's just so much work to do on this table. We've been working so hard on it, but it just isn't quite there yet. We still got to do the final sanding and maybe a few more fills on the other side. But right now, as you can see, we've got the leg pockets all made in. So this is where the legs are actually going to go when they get mounted on the table. Over here, you can see that we have our domino connectors put in. So we've got, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 domino connectors in there. That's going to hold us all together. Basically, these you just tighten with an Allen key, and it's going to bring it tight. Now, you can see earlier how we did that extra cut to make sure it was perfect. This is what we're going for here. You can see that this gap is just a lot better, a lot more consistent. There's still a little bit of one up here, but we can probably just wedge the table to get that to close. But it's just really important that this is clean and everything lines up. So they're just doing the final trim on the end, and it'll be next week that you will see us applying all the oil to this. We'll probably set up a time lapse for this one and show you the full process of the finishing on it. We're also going to try and get a coat on JB Smooth's dining table next week, and it is December 2nd that my dad and I leave to go to Portland. So if you want to see updates for that at Gobi Walnut, make sure you follow us on Instagram and you can see them right away. But for the rest of you who just have YouTube, you'll see that in a couple weeks here. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. Don't forget to like, and we'd love if you guys subscribed, and we will see you next week.